Hard times are coming for LSU. Ugh. All that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about LSU, who is self-imposing a ban on itself that includes 8 scholarships and celebrity wide receivers. Let's get to Ross Dellinger and Pat Forty, who have this story. The school is docking itself 8 football scholarships over a 2-year period and reducing recruiting visits, evaluations, and communication after nearly a 2-year investigation uncovered booster payments to the father of a football player, sources told Sports Illustrated. The school is banning from its facilities for 2 years ex-LSU receiver and current NFL star O'Dell Beckham Jr., who distributed $2,000 worth of $100 bills during a wild scene that unfolded on the field following LSU's win over Clemson in the national championship game in New Orleans at the Superdome, right? Contacted about this story this week, SI got a statement from LSU that said they're working proactively and cooperatively with the NCAA and self-reported the violations. Now, this penalty is really, really staggering because we all saw what O'Dell Beckham Jr. was doing, and we all said, yo, man, that's an NCAA violation. It's like, well, I'm no longer in college anymore, so I don't really think that matters. Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and the like, right? We also have this on top of LSU's not having a great season. They are down a bunch of players, and they're already having a hard time just competing in the SEC West, right? These violations are level 1 in nature, which is the most serious of the NCAA infractions. Now, in addition to these payments, they also have former father of an offensive lineman, Vidal Alexander, said he received $180,000 in stolen money from LSU booster John Paul Funes, who admitted in 2019 that he embezzled more than $500,000 from Our Lady of the Lake Hospital in Baton Rouge, right? There's also impermissible recruiting contact January 2019 by LSU coach Ed Orgeron, which is going to self-impose restrictions on Orgeron. You'll remember Orgeron also picked up quite a sizable extension, pays him about $9 million a year. This follows Will Wade, who was also in the crosshairs of the NCAA. And like the feds were wiretapping him, and somehow he got to keep his job, which I thought was bonkers and wild. Like, on top of all of this, you have really a football team that is in dire straits after winning a national championship and after putting together what we thought was one of the best seasons of football anybody had ever seen in this, well, really wild 20 years of, well, postseason college football, right? Because, like, taking into the BCS, or take the BCS into account, you're probably talking about that 2008 Florida team, maybe the 2000 Oklahoma team, but not really, not to me, right? That 2007 LSU team it's kind of a weird year. And of course, that 2014 Ohio State team was really good, but that LSU team is an all-timer along with the 95 Nebraska Cornhuskers and Tommy Frazier. See, I did it this time. As well as 1945 Army. But the gravity of this situation is still unfolding because in the COVID-19 era, we don't know what's going to be what in as far as how much money athletic programs are actually going to bring in next year. We all know that they have a deficit because nobody got to play in a postseason tournament of any kind in basketball, and the season's already being cut because you're losing games. This is on top of games being canceled for LSU, like a big one against Florida that was going to be on national television. How much of that national television money are they going to have to be distributed in the SEC in the coming years? They're also in an intense recruiting battle for 5-star offensive tackle, Tristan Lay, who was down to 5 schools, and LSU was the place that he was supposedly leaning toward. They're also in a battle for 5-star defensive end Corey Foreman and 5-star defensive tackle Mason Smith. Like, this recruiting restrictions can have far-reaching implications, especially if part of the self-imposed violations, you can no longer recruit these dudes. Like, I'll remember Micah Parsons was going to Ohio State. He was so going to Ohio State that he had a dog that he had named Brutus. Goes to an Ohio State game where they have game day. He takes pictures with Eddie George and Kirk Herbstreit, and both of those are seen as recruiting violations. And part of the self-imposed ban by Ohio State is that they no longer got to recruit Micah Parsons. He got the cold shoulder and ends up committing to Penn State, right? That's how that stuff works. To know that that's all on the table right now for LSU has to really hurt as an LSU fan. Like this would rock me if I was an LSU fan. I also would say, how did we not see this coming? How did we not know that as soon as O'Dell Beckham Jr. thought it was within the culture to walk out in the middle of the Superdome in New Orleans and hand out stacks of cash, that this was not going to be a problem? How do we not look at Joe Burrow smoking a stogie in the postgame and not see a problem, right? Now, I think that the kids should be paid. You know I think the kids should be paid. I also see that the rules are the rules. And if the bag man's going to get you caught, then the bag man's going to get you caught. And if your bag man is a convicted felon who embezzled money, you got the wrong bag man. You need to find another bag man. On top of what we know to be LSU's culture, which is just win, baby. We want you to win. Ed Orgeron is of those people, by those people, for those people, in a state that is just wild and all the way off sides in so many ways that are awesome. Like you can still get drive-through alcohol containers in, anywhere in Louisiana. I find that to be wildly odd and wildly awesome. There's also all sorts of stories about Louisiana government and how that state really gets down. And we also know that the most dominant team and the most popular team in the state of Louisiana is not the Saints. It is the LSU Tigers. It is the Bayou Bengals. That's the squad. To know that they are going to be put on severe restrictions that are going to hold them back for the years to come, is that the price worth paying for a 2019 national championship? I think so. I would take that because you got the national title. As a dude that has not seen his squad win a national title in 20 doggone years, I don't see a problem with that. I also say that it's going to hurt, right? But you're still playing SEC football. You're still LSU. You're still going to sell out stadiums when we can sell out stadiums, though I don't think that the folks at LSU really care about the COVID-19 pandemic. This is just a wild story, and I'm so glad that we're talking about breaking news during, what was, I thought, going to be just a run-of-the-mill week of college football. Turns out there's no such thing. Deuces.